Now, even as the world marked 11th Wildlife Day yesterday, human-wildlife conflict is still a thorn in the flesh for Kenyan pastoralist communities. In our part 2 of our feature series on human-wildlife conflict in Kenya, we paint the picture of the pain caused by the conflict and the measures being put in place to address the menace.
Your wife is 7 months expectant with twins. As she goes about her duties, she gets attacked by an elephant, an accident that takes away the lives of the twins and leaves her in agony for over 2 decades. We are in Oltepesi location, Longojit and Iloshon village at Mzengamoli Jongoren's home. Family and friends are gathered to mourn a wife and a mother.
Mama alienda kwa vichaka kutafuta kuni, jaribu kwenda kutafuta kuni akapatwa na ndovu. Wakati hiyo hakukuwa na mandovu kwa hii area. Siku hiyo ya kwanza ndio ndovu ilionekana.
Pregnant with twins, she was no match for the jumbo.
Chini kwa kichwa, sasa ikapata shida ya brain. So walipoumia kichwa alifanyiwa operation mara 2. Ya pili ndio
walijaribu siku ya kwanza waka raise 1.2 million, wakafanyiwa operation ya kichwa, akapona kiasi. But sasa shida haikuacha hapo, ilikuwa tu ni kukuja nyumbani, kurudi, kukuja, kurudi.
The over 2 decades journey has not been a walk in the park. Statistics by Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS, on human and wildlife deaths and injuries are not very consistent.
Recent published reports indicate that every year we lose on average 80 people to various animals. But that changes from anything around 20 people to 160 people in 1 year. So it fluctuates a lot.
Victims of human-wildlife conflict have accused the Kenyan government of a failure to compensate them and often prioritizing wildlife over humans.
The 2013 Act, ambayo a person with permanent injuries unafaa kulipwa 3 million for permanent injuries like this. Lakini nilishangaa kwa sababu wakati form ingine ya pili ilipotoka ama ilirudi sasa kuonyesha the compensation amounts, ilikuwa na 1,600,000. That is 1.6 million. Sasa ninashangaa hii 1.4 imeenda wapi na kwanza hii 1.6 haijafika mpaka sasa.
Watu wanajua hata saa hii kuuliwa, tuseme kuuliwa wanyama hapa au tuseme ndovu au simba. Unaona mandege nini mpaka inakuja kutoka Amerika, inakuja kuangalia yule mnyama. Lakini kuuliwa nini mwanadamu, hakuna mtu anafuatilia.
In Mpakasi village, Kajiado East, is Mzee James Turere. He lost several livestock 10 years ago, prompting his son to design what are known as lion lights to keep predators away.
Ni kama nimepoteza zaidi ya ng'ombe 30 na nilipoteza mbuzi zaidi ya 50.
He was eventually compensated in 2023. The amount, however, was hardly enough to make up for the loss.
Juzi tu nilifanikiwa kupata 4 peke yake kati ya zaidi yale ambayo nilipata.
There's a need to ease the process, but whenever the process is long, the risks of other people taking advantage, that opens up possibilities for corruption.
Why hasn't conflict between humans and wild animals been resolved?
Our country has only about 8% of its land area conserved under national parks and reserves. And there is a global movement that talks about the importance of securing at a minimum 30%.
The conflict is something that can be solved if there is deliberate effort to make sure that the ownership of the wildlife is given to these people, the local people, and the local people to see value coming from this wildlife.
Victims in the backlog cases plead with the government to follow through with its commitment to pay. This even as private players explain that what they give to victims is just a consolation and should not be confused for compensation.
Predator Consolation Fund, if you lose a goat, then you are consoled. You're not really compensated. The only compensation that can be done at the moment is by government.
Conservationists maintain that conservancies is the #1 strategy to addressing human-wildlife conflict.
Nchi imekuwa ndogo, watu wamekuwa wengi, tukaona njia mzuri ya kupata nafasi ya mifugo zetu na wanyama kuishi ni kutoa conservancy, ndio tupate pia kuzuia uuzaji wa mashamba.
Ndani ya conservancy ni ngumu sana ukutane na hizo vitu. Labda tukutane tu ng'ombe imeliwa na simba, mbuzi imeliwa na chui. Kila June tunakatwa shilingi 1,000 kila member, ambayo kama umedhirika na ng'ombe yako imeliwa na simba, mbuzi yako imeliwa na fisi, tunakulipa kama conservancy.
Pressure is mounting to have the national government act more swiftly.
The conflict is not going to be intense as opposed to a situation now where these communities are killing this wildlife because near our KWS. This is not going to be KWS elephants or KWS lions. These are going to be our lions.
Our efforts to get Kenya Wildlife Service KWS and the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife Authorities comment on the matter were rendered futile, both through their agents citing busy schedules. Agnes Olokachola, Citizen TV.